can we go from last to first in the Chicago Street Course here on the NASCAR Cup Series with 18 laps to work with? That's the question we have here today, as we have to go from 40th place to, well, as far forward as we can here on the tight streets of Chicago. Behind the wheel of this number 97 Chevrolet Camaro with the BWT sponsorship on the side, as Tyler Reddick and Ross Chastain are set to lead the field to the green flag. NASCAR Cup Series racing in Chicago Street Course in real life today on Sunday afternoon, with Kyle Larson leading the way as we get underway for 18 laps here from Chicago. And it should be noted there will be a caution halfway through this race to spice things up a little bit as well. Caution laps will not count. We could very well see some street course chaos as this race goes on. I gained a few spots immediately off the start due to my lane just being a little bit quicker on the start here as we roll through turn one. Such a tricky circuit. Of course, you have to make sure you're navigating around these tight, narrow streets of Chicago. The walls are right there, and you're in a big, heavy stock car. There's not a lot of room for error. If you make a mistake, you're hitting a wall here from Chicago, and of course, that's going to destroy your car. Now, we have no fast repairs. Whatever happens, happens. We need to hope for the best, but taking it a little bit easy, just kind of feeling things out right off the bat here. Now, settling in behind the two Dark Horse Mustangs of Harrison Burton, Noah Gragson as well. We'll pass Harrison Burton here on the exit of the right-hander. We'll clear him down this short chute towards the next heavy braking zone. A lot of 90-degree corners here, of course, in the Chicago Street Course now as we lunge one up the inside of Noah Gragson. Making some quick work as the 10 Stuart Haas machine actually gets into the outside wall there now as we go alongside John Hunter Nemechek. A big stack up there from the 31 of Daniel Hemrick. We go side by side through a section, of course, you would not expect side by side. Two rows that are wheel to wheel. Now Austin Dillon going at it with Hemrick just in front, but we clear the 43 of Eric Jones, and we have made some good ground up on this opening lap. We'll get another one right here as we dive up the inside of the 31. But not only do you have to be careful of, your own car and your own parameters and not hitting the wall with your own mistakes, but you got to be aware of the other traffic as well, especially on restarts, which we know we'll get at least one of those today. That's where the chaos comes from when we come to the Chicago Street Course, is the restarts. Now, with the double file, you never know what's going to happen, especially later in the race. Now, making a pass on Austin Dillon, that puts us up into 33rd position. So from 40th to 33rd in a lap in two corners now. And this next braking zone here is really the second best opportunity for passing chances outside of the rundown towards turn number one. And we're alongside the number 15 right there, and we'll get the pass completed now, and we can focus in on the Spire Motorsports number 71 Rookie of the Year contender, Zane Smith. We would follow him for the remainder of the second lap, but starting lap 3, here we go, right to the back of the 71. He leaves the door just open enough for myself to slip up the inside, and we'll make the move into turn number 1. You got Kamui Kobayashi and the number 50 just in front of us there for 2311 Racing, but we clear the 71, another spot gain, so that will put us up into the 32nd position now behind that number 50 car. A little bit wide, actually scratching the outside wall. Not a big deal there, scraping the wall with your door, but here going for that textbook move now on the 50 of Kobayashi. This is actually for P30. We got up to 31st there as we are wheel to wheel with the Japanese driver, and get hard on that gas now. We'll clear him, but hold on, he's going to lunge one back up the inside. We're going to be wheel to wheel, and it's going to be tight on the exit. Not enough room there for two of us. Kobayashi backs out of it after a little bit of contact there, and we get back rolling and focus in on the number 6 of Brad Keselowski as we've now entered that top 30 now, and that RFK machine not having a good run here in these early laps now. Of course, starting lap 4 of only 18, you can see the run we get out of turn 1 is going to open the door wide open for this. A lunge up the inside here. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just in front of both of us. I don't leave Keselowski a lot of room, but I leave him one car width to work with, just enough as we go on this run down towards this long sweeping right-hander. This is my favorite section of the circuit, this big fast run into this extremely narrow portion of track. It's such a sketchy, easily screw-upable position on the racetrack here. And speaking of screw-ups, here's Chastain, Larson, and Shane Van Gisbergen actually all coming together just a few moments later now, and SVG loses a few positions, settles in behind the 14 and the 13 of Briscoe and Allmendinger, and then here a few seconds later, I'm going for a big lunge up the inside of Stenhouse now as the caution will be coming out like I said, about halfway in this race, so I was trying to hustle my car a little bit here, get as far through this field as I possibly could as we start lap 5, looking for P27 on Carson Hocevar up the inside through turn number 1. We'll complete the overtake there. That's 27th to us, and we'll settle in and get now ready to put the attack on John Hunter Nemechek there for the Legacy Motor Club Toyota Camry. And you can see up here, it's getting interesting. So there's a bit of a 3-car battle between Josh Berry, who's kind of holding up everybody, Denny Hamlin, William Byron just behind, and you can see a big gap between them and then the cars ahead now as Byron actually clips the wall on the right side, but getting the elbows out on the number 11, but he's going to have to settle in as I nearly creamed the right side wall there as I couldn't quite see it going into that apex immediately now. But at the end of the lap, here we go for a move up the inside of that Raptor number 24. 13 laps to go. We're wheel to wheel with William Byron through turn 1 right up against the inside wall. Not clear, not clear, now clear, but we leave the space for Byron, who's still just showing the nose, and he takes it, and he's going to re-clear us now. The 24 back into the 25th spot. Great racing here in Chicago. Now we show the nose on the 24, struggling to get up through the gears a little bit right there. Byron shuts the door. Berry, Hamlin, Byron, myself now on this very tight, narrow run. Hamlin's going to the left side, catches the wall, settles back in behind Josh Berry, and now we're right on the back of the 24. A little bit of contact, just a late shot to his back bumper now as Josh Berry continues to back up this whole group of cars, including Hamlin, Byron, myself. As Byron goes left, Hamlin goes right. I follow Hamlin now into the apex. We both are able to make a considerable gain here on ground, but Berry stays ahead, and now we nearly go 3 wide. Here goes Byron shoving his nose to the left side of Hamlin. I settle in saying, okay, you guys can have at it now, but we still show the nose, but now we'll settle back in behind that 24. What a lap of racing here from Chicago. Great stuff now as nobody gains or loses a single position, but the racing was fantastic. A whole lap later, looking for that same textbook move we've been using already a few times, up the inside of the number 24 into the left-hander. We'll take the position. Thank you very much, William Byron. That's turn 6 right there. We clear him. As you can see, Berry driving extremely defensive, and that's making it really hard for a guy like Denny Hamlin to complete some passes, so I'm not wasting any time where you know a caution is coming momentarily, so we got to get on with it. We want as many spots as we can before the caution comes out, but Hamlin is able to stay ahead. He's showing the nose again on the number 4. He has a run, but now I'm going to take the advantage. We slip up the inside, nearly contact wheel to wheel into the narrow section as Berry continues to back up this field. Hamlin not quite in the outside while we continue side by side. We clear him. What a nice little battle right there as we've kept the nose clean so far all race long. We'd follow Berry for the remainder of this lap, and the caution's going to be coming out at the end of this lap right here. So here we go, an aggressive move into the penultimate turn up the inside of the number 4 of Berry. We're going to drag race down towards that final turn. We get up through the gears. We got a little bit more grip than that number 4. We take the position into the final turn. That will put us into 23rd place once the caution comes out. As we cross the stripe, it'll be 10 to go, and my goodness, that was a fun first bit of this race. The caution comes out, and that will get us ready to, well, stack them back up and get ready for a restart for the final half. I can't stress enough how fun iRacing AI is when it comes to road racing or street racing in NASCAR, but unfortunately the ovals just aren't that fun, and that's why you never see any iRacing content from me really anymore. But we're back racing now, and Tyler Reddick has been in control all race long so far. Christopher Bell side by side with the 48 of Alex Bowman. Bell takes a spot. Larson's right there on his Hendrick teammate as well. We are settling in on the right side alongside Austin Cindric now as we go down into turn 2. Not a lot of room left from the number 2 Penske driver, but we get the spot after a little bit of door banging. We take that position now, and we close in on the top 20 here. Can chaos be coming now? It's a late race restart. You don't really know what's going to happen now. As I see there's an incident ahead, my spotter warns, waiting for it to happen. Looks like we're okay for now as we go through the double right-hander, and so far so good. But now stacking up, the 23 stomping. We got nowhere to go. They've completely stomped in front of us, and we are under Bubba Wallace, and the caution is going to fly. And just like that, you see how quickly things change, and it was Kyle Larson getting doored into the wall by his teammate of Alex Bowman. Completely destroys the steering, I guess, and he decides to park it in front of the whole field. And Bubba Wallace had nowhere to go. I had nowhere to go, and you see the result of that. And look at my front bumper. it does not look good. We've kept the car clean all race long, but all it takes is one of those chaotic restarts. Now, we're not going to pit. The car was still driving straight. The steering was not bent, so I decided to just kind of stick with it. We lost some track position. Now we're outside of the top 25 as we get back racing here, but we're going to make do with what we have. We're going for it again into turn number 1 behind, now up the inside of the 21 of Harrison Burton to kick off lap 11 of 18. Alongside Hemrick, we clear the 21, looking for a crossover on the 31, actually scraping into his right rear, damaging my left front, kind of crumpling it up a little bit, but not a big deal there. That's more of a visual aspect. Now, contact Suarez and Gilliland, a huge impact for the 99. Suarez destroys his front end, and that's going to ruin his race. That left front wheel not even spinning. He's stopping now as we are going to get another caution. And you see I get a little piece of it as well, as this race has certainly turned into a bit of chaos. Cautions out again, we stack them up again and get ready to go green again. It's NASCAR, it's street racing, you know chaos is coming at some point now, but we're going to get back racing here. It's going to be 7 laps of racing. Tyler Reddick continues to lead the way. We get a great launch on the back of the 71, of course, that we passed earlier in the race. Not quite enough dog in me to send it up the inside there, so we remain alongside the 21 of Harrison Burton. Clear already, sliding, however, that's going to give the 21 his opportunity to look back up my inside. Into turn number 2, we're inside the top 25, but only in about 23rd place, which is, of course, not where I expected to be. I was hoping to be at least top 15 before that chaos and that first crash there after that restart a little bit earlier now. But Harrison Burton lunges it deeper than I was willing to go, and he takes a position. Now we're right on the back of the 21. Apparently an incident behind. No big deal there. We stay green flag racing now. We follow the 21. The 71 on the short shoot down towards the heavy braking left-hander. Now Burton showing the nose on the 71. He's going for it, so I back out of it. Not going to force it 3 wide. I'm going to let Harrison Burton just kind of do his thing. We're going to try and follow him through. He seems to be on the move, so we'll get alongside the 71 of Zane Smith into the braking zone, and now into the back of the 21. More stacking up here. We don't really do any more damage to our car, but you can see on the inside the 15 pretty well stomps just about. No caution again. We stay green, but a huge stack up, and it looks like it gets sorted. So now at the end of the lap, here we go for a move up the inside of the 21 of Harrison Burton. This track, so much fun to drive, so much fun to try and set up overtakes on these AI even. I was just having so much fun in general now, as you can see, going for a move lap later on the inside of the 71, using him right up there. That was definitely a little bit egregious from myself, but we take the position now on that 13 of 18. Running out of time, coming to 5 laps to go, and we hit that 5 to go mark, and we are starting to work our way forward here, leaning on the back quarter panel on the right side there of the 31 of Daniel Hemrick. We're going to show the nose again on towards a slight right bend, and more contact there on the quarter panel. He shuts the door, nearly taking myself out, but we save it now. But that 31 not going to make it easy now, of course, as we're going to again get to his back bumper, looking for the opportunity to overtake. It's going to be right here. We show the nose, we swing back to the left side, wheel to wheel down towards the next left-hander, the 90-degree left-hander that is now braking just before we hit the 4 board on the right side, and right against it inside while we clear the 31. Back into the top 20 we go, setting our sights now on cars that we've passed earlier in this race. Brad Keselowski coming to 4 laps to go. He's going to leave the door wide open for the taking, and I am aggressive, more aggressive than I was being earlier in the race, that's for sure. We easily clear the number 6 there. That will put us well inside the top 20 P19 at this point, and Austin Dillon is our next objective, and we run him down with ease here now to the back bumper of that number 3, about a car length between himself and I, but we have the momentum down the straightaway on that right band, closing, show the nose, a bold, aggressive move on the inside. We make it work. We scrape the outside wall ever so slightly, not quite enough to even get a contact warning, so we'll take it. That's about as perfect as you can make it with an aggressive move like that, but we're not done with the bold moves. Here we go to the back of the 22. We're going to lunge one up the inside of the 2-time Cup Series champion from 2018-2022. Logano hits the wall without contact there from myself, so an easy overtake. Now up into P17, settling in behind Corey LaJoie, and out of the penultimate turn, coming to just 3 laps to go. We're going to go for the position here to put us into P16. Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman 1-2 running away from the field right now. AJ Allmendinger in P3, but his pace was not looking good, and he was backing up everybody, and that was making things a little bit easier for me. However, those cars that were behind him, faster Buscher couldn't quite find a way to pass him because he kept running really defensive lines into the passing zones. Now as we'll get past the 41 of Ryan Preece, that'll put us into the 15th position. Could we be on for a top 10? We're going to need to gain 5 spots in 2.5 laps. Never say never. As we close in on the back of Martin Truex Jr., right to his back bumper. We show the nose again, not quite alongside. There we go. We show to his right rear quarter panel. Lunge went into that final turn, and Allmendinger stacking up this group of cars is making passing a little bit easier for myself. So that'll put us into the 14th position. Now Chris Buescher for 13th here in these final 2 laps into turn number 2. Up the inside there, showing the nose. He goes with a bit of a wide entrance there, and that allows me to pretty well clear him with ease as well. Into P13 now as we settle in behind. That's the 51 of Justin Haley having a great run. Ryan Blaney just in front of him. We could definitely get this top 10 results out of this now, as we just need to pass a few more cars. In this 51, I think we can make very quick work on him. Up the inside here, door to door, about halfway up his door, 3/4 even. Now we pull ahead through that left-hander. Clear. That's been our corner all race long, but hold on and run on the back of the 12 of Blaney. I mean, we're racing better than we were when we had a car that was in perfect mint condition. We clear the 12. Now Chase Elliott is up next. To get ourselves into the top 10, we're going to have to make this move on the 9. Lunging one up the inside into the penultimate turn. He left himself open, vulnerable. He backs out of it now under pressure from Ryan Blaney, but he stays clear. But that will put us inside the top 10 as we come through to start the final lap here from Chicago Street Course. 18 laps of racing. Up the inside of Todd Gilliland. This will put us into P9. He doesn't really have much for us. We clear him with ease. Into 9th place. Chase Briscoe up next, and we might even be able to get to Ty Gibbs if we can make quick work on this 14, but that would be as far as we'd be able to get at this point now. Through the narrow section, high speed narrow section that is, right to the back of the 14 Mahindra Tractors Ford Dark Horse machine for Stuart Haas Racing. We know where this move's going to happen now. We follow him, we get that slipstream, we pull out, now brake again just before the 4 marker on the right side. We'll clear him at the apex, taking the position. Can we get one more spot on Ty Gibbs to put us into 7th position? What a drive through the field. Not enough to win, of course. Reddick and Bowman, they are long gone down the road. Now coming up to the final few corners now, but we continue to reel in that Monster Energy Toyota Camry of Ty Gibbs for Joe Gibbs Racing. A slide through the long sweeping left-hander. We continue to close in. A run through the right-hander. We're not going to waste any time. To the back bumper of the 54. A bump, a push to the right side. Door open. Contact. Tyler Reddick, as this is all happening, is winning over Alex Bowman. But we, into the final turn, will clear the 54, take the 7th position right at the line. The last of first challenge, not quite a success, but we get to P7 after all the chaos. An absolute blast, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching some Chicago Street Course, and I hope you guys enjoyed in real life as well. That's going to do it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day.